All right. You guys ready?
Pete Terry's is a superior burger, but we'll continue.
Agreed.
No, you're wrong.
Over Hot Dotties?
You are absolutely
You're
wrong.
a crazy
When I
person.
compare
Hot
half the
Dotties
fries-
isn't all that good either.
What? You are a crazy person.
You know, they have interesting combinations of ingredients. I'll give them that, and sometimes it's fun to do that. But as far as like quality burger, they're all right.
I thought they were delicious.
Give me Dan's any day. And I
Do you
would
like
take
Dan's?
Pete Terry's are the driest burgers in town.
Yeah,
I would
I'm not crazy
give me
about Pete Terry's
a
either.
Whataburger any
Same
day
thing
of
with
the
the
week.
In-N-Out.
Or
I was
In-N-Out,
like,
yeah.
I'll take Whataburger either.
In-N-Out.
I'll take
I'm
In-N-Out
impressed
over
with
Pete
In-N-Out.
Terry's.
But I'll take Five Guys over either one of those.
I'd take McDonald's over Pete Terry's.
No, I don't know about that.
You
Sorry.
shut your dirty mouth.
Their
a little hard.
burgers are dry. Who wants a dry burger?
People who live in really wet places?
I guess so. I'm gonna eat this burger and let it sop up some of the moisture in my phone that I dropped in the toilet.
Oh, God. Yeah, you just put a Ziploc bag with a burger in your
Yeah,
cell
with Pete
phone
Terry
and
burger,
just
suck
suck
that right
all that
up.
moisture right out. Better than rice. Oh my God, oh my God. John Wick 2! John Wick 2! Chapter 2! I'm so excited! And also frustrated because we'll have to wait for I don't know how long for Chapter 3.
Right. That's a good point.
Yes. Bo's like, clearly not as
No,
strong as I am.
I really like this movie, but I mean, I almost, you people are exhausting me. It's like, it was really good.
It was a really exhausting
but you
movie.
need to calm down.
This is my kind of action movie.
Take some smack.
Just
No,
hundreds and hundreds
Yeah.
of people brutally murdered on screen.
I
and
agree.
All with like single camera setups that don't use editing to show the fighting and killing. I'm like, this is how you make a fucking action movie.
There was really only one fight that was kind of like too little herky-jerky, and it's because like two of the main stars were in it. And it's like, I guess. I'll give you one scene like
And
that.
even that wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
You mean the fight between Common?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, even so, I was like, wow, Common can actually
No.
do on-screen fighting pretty well.
Yeah, oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
And he can do it while being ridiculously handsome. Was it just the Italian suit? But for some reason I was just like,
Where did that
I've always thought you were a relatively decent looking man, but my God. I was just like, I hope they give him a spinoff.
they probably will.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Go for it.
I love the way this movie does this thing with some of the newly introduced characters that, you know, in the real world would totally be dead.
Yeah.
But in the world of John Wick, you're like, they could make it.
If you don't see them breathe their last breath on screen,
Exactly.
anything is possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's possible. The story in question here, this is directed by one half of the team that made the original one. The other guy is going on to make Deadpool 2, which should be pretty cool.
Fingers crossed.
Chad Stahelski, we actually have an interview with him up on the site right now, where I get to talk to him and one of the stunt coordinators about especially how they did these type of stunts in the film, mainly. And it takes place right after the end of the original John Wick.
Like, literally the next day.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves is like beat up and exhausted, but not so exhausted.
But I still gotta go get my car.
He's like, oh, I killed every motherfucker except for the dudes who have my car.
Yeah.
So it literally starts with this poor gangster, Peter Stormare, who by definition is a villain in anything.
Absolutely love him.
He's pretty much written that into every contract.
You want to make an action movie that I love? Put Peter Stormare in it.
Yeah.
Was he Lucifer in Constantine?
I don't remember. He might have
I
been.
think he was.
Could have been. Sounds like a very Peter
Why
Stormare
not?
role. Sure, we'll just say yes. Who's like, I mean, this is kind of the equivalent of in the first movie with the guys when they say, John Wick is mad, and they're like, oh, fuck. So really, in case you forgot, the whole rest of the world looks of this criminal underworld, they all think of John Wick as they say repeatedly here, the boogeyman.
But also to like a comedic effect. I think that was one of the funniest parts of the movie is just him hearing all the chaos going on and just like bug-eyed the entire time.
Because he knows. He knows he's coming for him.
I love the somebody's like, I heard some story about him killing a bunch of guys with a
I can
pencil.
be like, yeah, I know. The pencil.
Yeah, I know. Believe me. If anything, the stories you heard, watered down.
I couldn't help it. All throughout that scene in this movie, I was just like... and now it's gone.
Yeah.
But, thankfully we do actually get to see multiple guys die with the pencil in this.
That's
film.
true.
That
Yeah.
brings that back
Thank
full
This
circle.
kind of shows the way humor should be handled in a movie like this. It shouldn't
Exactly.
like Bad Boys is a movie that I love, but it kind of goes way over the top with some of the humor. It's like, yeah.
So after that little initial, sort of like the last mission at the beginning of a James Bond film sequence, he's come back home. He's like, finally I can relax where nothing can go wrong, and I can go back to my plan with my brand
And
new
then
dog.
it's 2 hours of him petting a dog.
Yeah, no.
That's it. That's the whole
He's
movie.
got a brand new dog, which they did. I love the directors actually promise ahead of time. No, we promise we're not killing the dog. So if that freaked you out in the first movie, don't worry this time. And this guy shows up. This very Spanish gangster, Santino.
Italian.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah,
by
that big
Ricardo's-
round thing when they did the transition
yeah.
scene, that's a coliseum.
Okay. I'm talking fast and not fucking sick. It's like, hey, you still owe me a blood oath, which they have a cool little blood oath coin.
I know.
Yeah,
but-
that's so cool.
And I'm going to get those for all of my contracts going forward. Stab yourself before you make this deal.
He's like, I'm sorry, I'm retired. And he's like, but you just killed like 4,000 people like yesterday. And he's
It's
like,
like, dude, that was good. They killed my dog.
what do you want?
That was different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
different. But he's like, well, you realize there's going to be repercussions.
And then the
Don't-
Italian guy says, I understand, and then it's 2 hours of him petting his dog.
No, it is not.
Damn it.
It's 2 hours of him killing thousands of people because the Italian guy turns around, blows up his house, and goes, now what are you going to do?
Ah, like you do when you lose an argument.
So this is the point where this movie I felt really kicks into gear of being this is going to be a very like moving things forward in the mythology from the first movie because they go deep into that little assassin mythology.
This is one of the things I like the best about the movie is you actually got to glimpse John Wick as like this is what he did before he retired.
Yeah.
And that's what I really wanted to see.
that level of complexity of like all
my
the
God.
rules to this organization and
I'm not even going to tell you what he is, but Peter Serafinowicz steals the scenes that he is in.
He
was
He's so
fantastic.
fucking awesome.
you get so many people who just have very specific jobs that they only do for people who are like super high level assassin or underground people. And it's just wonderful as you start seeing this structure unfold. Only unfortunately he finds himself in a situation where he has no choice but to take a mission that he realizes it's like a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
If he does the mission and he succeeds, then
Everyone will hate him.
his shit will be even 100 times worse. If he doesn't do the mission, he's definitely not going to be able to kill everyone who want him to do it. So it's like, fuck.
Thank God he finds a way out of the situation.
So we can pet his dog for the next 2 hours.
And then 30 minutes, petting his dog.
There's going to be a whole web series just on here, just him like, oh, who's your good boy? Who's your good boy?
God, now I can watch this.
It almost would have been funny as far as the humor of like at some point somebody would have said the line, "Whatever you do, don't kill his fucking dog."
Don't kill him. Come on.
What a
That'll be
great
part three.
tagline. That'd be a great
Don't kill the
tagline.
dog.
Hands off the car. Leave the dog alone.
And stay away from all pencils.
Yeah.
That would be a good scene though. Like they've got him held on to him, and they're like talking shit to him, and one of the guy puts the gun up to the dog's head. The other guy's like, "No,
Dude, chapter 3, I want one fight scene to happen in a Staples.
Let's see what he can do with some Post-its.
They kind of did that in The Equalizer. It was a Home Depot, though. Yeah, this is just lots. There's that point where even though it goes in and out of this, like almost like Matrixy sort of worlds, like just where everything is so big and crazy. You're like,
Yeah,
what the
no,
fuck?
when am I gonna meet Kentucky Fried Chicken dude so I can get out of this?
Well, hopefully never. I did start going, wait a minute, is this the Matrix?
Especially when Lawrence Fishburne shows up.
When Lawrence Fishburne shows up, which I'm so glad they resisted the temptation to make a flat-out Matrix reference,
Yeah.
Which I'm sure
They
somebody...
came pretty
They
close.
hinted.
There's some deleted scenes out there.
Right. If, Fishburne had been told, okay, you're coming into this movie a little late in this film, and you've got to be bigger than everybody else who's been in this movie so far. Your personality's got to be crazier and bigger, and you've got to be more mythological, and he pulls it off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
considering
I
we've
think
seen
they- I
Ian
think they had a-
McShane beforehand.
Yeah.
I think to get him fired up, they had a PA call him Larry all day.
But I think it also makes sense in the context of the world because everyone's in this professional business attire, and he's the one that isn't. So he's allowed to be more more
Eccentric.
more
That's
eccentric.
kind of the weird thing. It's like, yes, my army of assassins who are street
Hobos, yeah.
It's like, wait, did Neil Gaiman write this?
It's like, if you knew how
Very
New York street bums actually smell, you're like, I'm sorry, there's no way you're going home and putting on a fucking Armani suit after that.
Well, maybe in the world of John Wick.
In the world of John Wick,
Yes. Which is definitely,
fake.
like I said, this is a fantasy world. It's required. I would sympathize with somebody who comes out and goes, man, that was just so ridiculous. It didn't make sense. People were just firing at each other. How come is he the only one capable of making headshots, who coincidentally seems to be the only shots John Wick does?
Yeah.
But, like, he's fighting against all these other masters.
Which is strange, because the only way to kill him, because he's got a Kevlar suit,
Yeah.
is a headshot.
And not like Batman. They have this thing where, like, there's, like, a thin strip they just put inside of a suit jacket all the way around, which he's literally using his suit jacket like a shield.
Like Batman-esque cape.
Like Batman-esque, yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous. And yeah, the mythology is bigger than life, but this is one of those, you're either going to totally buy into it or you're not. And one of the reasons you buy into it so much is because, like I said, the action is just so well choreographed. It's beautiful to look at, just the scenarios they set up for him. There's a sequence taken right out of either Lady from Shanghai or Man with a Golden Gun, depending on your preference, where it's a...
Lady of Shanghai, obviously.
Josh. Fight at MoMA in an exhibit that is all like a hall, mirrors with weird lighting and stuff. That is extremely impressive what they do with the fight choreography inside of that.
Even if some of it is happening with Ruby Rose.
Yeah, well, actually, she's proven to be a pretty capable action star.
Yeah, she's not. Yeah, that seems to be the field that she's gone. I'm still kind of like, I still kind of feel like she's one of those ice cream flavors they really want me to like.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this. We all felt that way about Shia LaBeouf, but I never saw him do some of that crazy fucking high kick, like,
that's true. No. She's growing on me. And her character is really weird, but she's kind of supposed to be.
She actually, in Triple X, was one of the things I did like about that movie, was her in that. I was like, oh, that was kind of cool.
Well,
just saying.
Anybody who can save a Triple X movie has got to have something.
Let's not get
He didn't say save.
She didn't save it.
That's going a bit far.
She stopped me midway through my harakiri in preparation.
There are so many great character actors in this thing, and just actors in general. John Leguizamo, who sadly doesn't get as much time in this one as he did in the first one.
We didn't get a lot in the first one, really.
Yeah, you wanted to see more because I liked his role.
I was like, the people hired John Leguizamo more. What's wrong with you?
Ian McShane, who does get a lot more time.
He's so great.
He's so good in this role. Lance Reddick, who is one of those TV actors that if he's in a TV show, I'll be like, I will watch that show just because Lance Reddick is playing the police captain. I don't care, which is all he ever plays.
Right.
Yeah.
With the exception of the John Wick movies where they've given him an accent for some reason. Like you said, Peter Serafinowicz is wonderful. Franco Nero, Django himself, has a small role in this as well. And then, once again, you got to come back to Common, who I really think is proving that he is one of the most interesting action character actors.
This was really like
come from.
Yeah, this was a total he's been here and there in movies, and he's one of those guys that I've always kind of like, oh, it's Common. I kind of like him, but this is the one that's like, wow, you could carry your own movie, goddamn.
Yeah, you totally could watch a spin-off just about this guy. And one of the great things is, yes, he is a John Wick sized assassin, one of the best of the best, who is put in a position where it's like, we have no choice to be enemies now, but we've been friends in the past, which is, a action cliche.
I mean, you actually do, considering the moral relativism that is necessary to do your job. You could probably have worked that out.
Probably.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But that leads to this wonderful scene, because one of the things Ian McShane's hotel, I forget what they call it.
Continental.
Is an all agreed upon neutral zone. No violence in the Continental allowed.
No business.
In trouble. No business. And they
which is one of the plot holes that because somebody tries to take refuge there, and it's like eventually you're going to have to do business of some kind.
Yeah, true. But I think they're being very specific about business.
Yes,
I think he can still trade stocks. Business. But there's even this huge.
We call it wet work.
This huge fight scene that they have going on. They end up inside there, and it's just wonderful. These two just daggers for eyes, bloody and cut up, are just sitting at the bar having a drink, talking right in the middle of a fight scene. You're like, this is just insane. and kind of awesome. And it wouldn't have worked with a lesser actor.
I think the
than Common.
word that you're looking
Yeah.
for is civilized.
I think they do a good job of also presenting Common specifically as one who at times seems really equal to John Wick in the fight. I think it was the only time I really thought John Wick was threatened.
Proper nemesis.
Yeah,
And they also sort of shed light in that Common isn't necessarily an assassin, but kind of a bodyguard. And in this world, those are also kind of one and the same, the bodyguards and the assassins. So I felt, just like the first one gives a glimpse into this really interesting world, and this one opens it up a lot more, that little wrinkle I thought was really interesting, that bodyguards can kind of be in this world too.
Yeah, I mean, I took it kind of like it was a gig he took.
Yeah.
But he's bodyguarding for somebody who, could probably pay more than anybody else.
Yeah.
I love the Franco Nero talking to Keanu Reeves who shows up in Italy. So, are you here for the Pope? No? You just see the...
Oh, God.
Here's your own king.
Because he's so good, he's the level of guy you would go, wow, if he came all the way to Italy, it's probably for the Pope. I totally love this, but let's go with the final thoughts here with John starting us off.
Yeah, I think the only time I felt disappointed in the movie is when I directly compared it to the first one. So I think, I can't remember if it was on mic or off, but that there was one fight scene that maybe was a bit too shaky, and only compared to the tightness of the first one.
It stood out like a sore thumb because I was like, well, what happened to the rest of the camera work? And but it was just that one scene, so it was fine.
But that trade-off, it gives me more of what I found most interesting about the first one is this mythology and this very well-crafted world that they just throw threads out there and leaving you wanting more the entire time. Stuff with the cape, suit jacket. For a brief instance, I feel like that's really ridiculous, and then I find myself 10 minutes later going, whatever. This is amazing.
I don't care. It's ridiculous. I have bought in.
So I guess my only complaint is there's not enough puppy dog in this movie. I just want more. I want more dog.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to give this 9 out of 10 well-tailored suits.
JC.
This delivered in every way. It's very easy for an action-oriented sequel to go wrong. Or it's very easy for them to just not put any effort in because the first one made gobs and gobs of money, and this one will probably also make tons of money. So it's easy to not put much forth of an effort, and they really did. They expanded the world that we wanted to see more of from the first one, while still not kind of giving us everything. They're still leaving it open for possibly a third, which I think would be cool. I love this a lot. I would say a lot more, but my voice is kind of wrecked. But I would give it 8 out of 10 headshots.
Bo?
I think that this movie really worked, and it was very, because John Wick 1 really was lightning in a bottle because it was a bunch of different things that we hadn't seen before. But yet very, very familiar at the same time. And this movie had a lot of challenges set up ahead of it, and it really kind of hurdles it. Well, the first couple of scenes, I was like, all right, well, is this just going to be more of the same? Which is fine, because I'm having fun. But then they really start to raise the stakes to the point that at the end, I'm almost surprised that they raised them as high as they did. And it pays off. There was no point that I didn't really have any point where I was just like, the first one was better, or that I was worried about stuff. I thought the fight scenes were great. The character progression was great. There's those silly, godlike moments, whatever you want to call them. But you accept it because they set up the universe well, and they did a really good job of telling the story. I didn't have any problems with it at all. I really am looking forward to the third chapter, if indeed there is one. I can't see why there would not be.
Assuming all you assholes go pay to see it in the theater.
And I'm very surprised to get this good of a movie, this good of an action movie, and at this point in the year. I give it, I think, 9.5, and I forgot my gimmick. 9.5 empty shell cases.
Damn it!
Sorry.
I'm going to steal that, but in a different way.
Okay.
Anyway, you go. Patience. What's your say?
As I said, I really like that glimpse into the life of an assassin before retirement. I really liked seeing him planning for the mission. I thought overall the movie was great because it had like that perfect balance of action and humor. So there was just these great humorous moments, but to kind of like balance out how much action was sort of exhausting at one point. But I think I give it 8.5 out of 10 super sports.
I think somebody else posted when y'all were at the movie, because I saw this last week. Somebody posted, "This is the Empire Strikes Back of the John Wick franchise," and he's referring specifically to the way this ends. Because to be sure, this is a cliffhanger of the sort of fuck. What are you going to do now, man? It's like, I thought you were fucked through this whole movie. Now you're like quintuply fucked. Which, once again, go see this movie so I can get a third part. Ultimately, this is just like a stunts extravaganza for a guy like me that like grew up watching Hong Kong films and loving the type of don't cut away action. The same mixed with the John Woo type of thing.
And reloading guns.
And reloading guns. Oh, man, there's a one-handed reload.
That was amazing. So simple.
I was like, oh, that was amazing. It's like, reminds me in Terminator 2, that moment where Arnold cocks the shotgun by spinning it around one-handed. It was just that level of like, that was cool. Just a side note. Yeah, there's just so much coolness coming off this movie. It's, once again, showing Keanu is so much better at physical action than he is at emoting. When you give him too much dialogue, you're like, okay. Which is the problem with the second two Matrix films, where you're like, all of a sudden he's this philosophy master. And I'm like, no, you should be the guy going, I don't understand, but I can kick shit real good.
You're good.
Yeah, exactly. Just punch people. Stop talking. Anyway, yeah, this is top-notch action filmmaking. It's really as good as you get. I think it's even better than the first one because it expands the mythology. Yeah. The action is even bigger, and I don't know. I mean, it probably has a bigger body count. It's impossible to keep track. Definitely. Although I'm sure somebody at some point is going to have like a little version of this where they just have the run.
They've got to
at the bottom of the screen. If you did that, because they do ones with like death count YouTube videos, which are just like 5 minutes in the movie of everybody who dies. If you did this with this, it would just be 2 hours. I love this movie to pieces. I'm going to give it, and sorry once again, Bo, 975,000 of a million spent bullet casings.
Good Lord.
That's about how many I think there were in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I should have given it a 9.5. Weird bodyguards that all look alike.
In white jackets.
Yeah.
Right? No, the blue jackets. Remember the guys with the beard in the hall of the mirror? I'm like, wait, didn't you shoot him already? Oh no, it's just another fucking dude with a beard.
I was like, are they going to do a thing where they're like quintuplets or something?
It's like, where did you find so many buff hipsters?
They even did a similar thing with a gang all wearing ski masks. It felt very much like a video game where here's this horde with the mini boss.
Here's this stormtrooper and here's a battle droid.
Waiting for one of them to go, Mr. Anderson.
I'm JC. I'm really excited to be doing this commentary for Suicide Squad. I was one of the few people that relatively liked it when it came out, so I'm really excited to do this commentary with like-minded people who are going to give this a positive review and really going to give this the fair shot it deserves.
I'm so ready for Suicide Squad. I'm so ready to take this on. It's Chris versus Suicide Squad.
Johnny Neal, and I'm here to take the Suicide Squad challenge. I'm willing to go all 245 minutes worth of rounds. Cut me, Mickey! Cut me!
I'm going to lose this fight. I've got nowhere to go. This thing is so horrible. It's going to overwhelm me like that stupid fucking yellow monster in Green Lantern.
We're gonna destroy!
You son of a bitch!